Well, I finally figured out I'm a Smashing Pumpkin no matter what. So no more bands except Smashing Pumpkins. So there's no Smashing Pumpkins, so it's only Billy now. I think there's some influences of the 80s, but I think there's also influences from lots of other things. One of the big influences on the album actually is the classical composer Bach. I think the 80s stuff is easy to pick out, particularly because there's sort of an 80s revival going on anyway right now. But what people forget sometimes is I'm 38 years old and I'm actually from the 80s, and I was playing in a band in the 80s, and so I was playing this music actually in the 80s. So, I mean, my band in 1986 sort of sounded like The Cure, so in some ways I'm just going back to a sound that I used a long time. Well, when I made music for the Smashing Pumpkins, I really was writing the songs for the band, for the success of the band, for the power of the band. I wasn't writing the songs for me. Actually, writing an album just strictly for what I would like to hear is a totally different experience. I'd never done that before. I mean, occasionally I would write a song for myself and stick it on an album, but you probably wouldn't even know those songs because you probably never listened to them. So, they were the songs that everyone skipped over. So yeah, I just very much wanted to make an album that I would like for myself, without an agenda of what was popular or what anybody wanted to hear. When I was younger, I mean, there was a lot of energy in the air. There were a lot of great bands. The bands were in competition. You know, we would play a club and Nirvana would be playing the club the next night, and then the next night it would be Soundgarden, and the next night it would be Alice in Chains. These were all great bands, very physical bands, very powerful bands. Through that power, through the energy of that music, we got a lot of success. But there's something sort of sad about somebody who once they sort of play that kind of music and burn out on it, keep going back to it, even though they're obviously not as passionate about it, because it's what's expected of them, or it's because the fans want to hear something. What I've tried to do is try to reinvigorate my interest in rock music one piece at a time. By the way I play guitar, by the way I write songs, and actually by making an album like The Future Embrace, which is very different and in some ways ahead of its time, it's made me excited to play rock music again. Now when I hear rock music in my head, I hear something fresh. I don't hear the old version that I used to play. And so it may sound strange, but this is in a lot of ways my way to get back to playing rock music. I ran into Robert last summer when he was on the Curiosa tour, and he came over to my house, and we were sitting around about 6 o'clock in the morning playing guitars. And we were talking about my solo record, and he said, "Oh, I'd love to do something for your record. You know, would you mind?" Which, of course, is a crazy question. Of course I wouldn't mind. I love Robert, and it's a great honor to have him on my record. So when I kind of finished making the record to the point where I needed to figure out what song he was going to sing on, the only song that seemed right for Robert, for whatever reason, was the Bee Gees song. So the great difficulty, of course, was calling him up on the phone and convincing him to do a Bee Gees song. Because I think he automatically assumed it was going to be a Bee Gees disco song. So hopefully if we ever make the video, I want us to both dress up in the white suit and do the disco dance.